That being said, here we are. As always, it's me, Andy, aka Love Retro BTW, right here on Twitch, and my Twitter is Love Retro BTW. You can check out all my social handles below. If you're new to the show, welcome. If you're not, then good morning. Welcome again to another episode. This one, we just spoke about this. Genzo said our guest streak is broken. It's true. We had a pretty strong guest streak. I don't know the exact number, but I would say we had like 6 weeks in a row. We had guests, which is great. I do have a guest though, Genzo, and it's E3. Can't you see him? He or she is behind the screen there as our guest today because we have a lot to talk about when it comes to E3. This weekend is the kickoff at 10 a.m. today is E3, the E3 Expo. And if you don't know what E3 is, well, what E3 is, it represents a time every year for gaming to announce the biggest announcements for your newest releases, either announcements about releases that are to be coming down the line or announcements about games coming out in the fall and the Christmas season. It's where consoles are announced. It's where the biggest time of year, this time of year, June. In the summer, gaming doesn't have a lot of games coming out technically, but there's a lot of announcements, and a lot of those games start to come out, around, I would say, September, end of August, and then you start seeing all the new games that E3 announced and says are available into the Christmas wonderful season. So I am so glad that I could talk about this particular topic because, honestly, E3 is really tied closely to my video game lore, my heart, and, E3 started in 1995, so it has a retro side to it, and there's a lot I want to talk about, and a lot of photos, and it's going to be a little bit of a look back, and a little bit of my thoughts and feelings on E3, and if you don't know about E3, then hopefully it will teach you a little bit about E3. Really good to see No Fear, Dance Floor Dale, Genzo Chicken, and anyone else that's lurking about. Welcome again to the podcast. We're going to jump right in. Today's show might not be as long as your typical Cafe BTW because, yes, we don't have a guest, but we do want to talk about this particular topic because today is E3. Now, E3, if you don't know what it is, it's a convention, and stealing this from Getty Images or videos, just to give you guys ideas of what the floor looks like. Usually outside is there. It's located every year in Los Angeles, actually, but for 2 years it was in Georgia, believe it or not, in Atlanta. And it's funny, I was watching like one of these like history look backs on E3 on YouTube, and the YouTuber said Atlanta, Florida. And I was like, did he just say Atlanta, Florida? It's Atlanta, Georgia. I couldn't believe that he actually said Atlanta, Florida, because an Atlanta, Florida does not exist. Anyway, these are some videos on Getty Images of just what the floor looks like at an E3. Really, here's a good look at the outside of the LA Convention Center. Beautiful, beautiful entrance to the wing of the stage. And then, of course, you see piles and piles of people filing through the hallways at E3. The beautiful booths, the money spent just on booths alone, just beautiful, beautiful expo. Above and beyond everything else, it's a beautiful, beautiful expo. Now, E3 was always meant to be an industry event, and it always has been. But it was up to about, I think, 3 years ago, they allowed public people to buy tickets, but not. It's a little exaggerated. They said, oh, this is the end of E3. The public is coming. I'm like, no, they only sold 10,000 tickets. And over 60,000 people came to the event last year from the industry. So really the public, entry of letting the public come to E3 really wasn't that. It's, didn't really disrupt things in my mind. A lot of people think it did, and we'll get into that. But found this really cool part of Getty Images with all these awesome videos. But what's really cool about E3 for me is that I'm personally connected to E3. And this is a photo of me at the Nintendo booth. And I think this was my first E3. And what's so funny about this picture, and I'm sorry it's so small, but it's me basically saying like, oh my God, I made it. Look at this. and I wanted to take a picture in front of the Nintendo booth because Nintendo to me is like everything nostalgic. Well, actually, Nintendo was at E3 last year. You see, that's what people don't realize. They don't do their press conference at E3, but the booths are still there. So even Genzo up to 2019, they still had their booth. So they had Luigi Mansion 3 or whatever. So actually, you're wrong. It's Sony and Xbox that don't have the booths at the event anymore. But that being said, we'll get into that. Now, this is a great photo, actually. Now, this is... let's backtrack here. Oh, man. Hold on. This is my imager. I know I have some photos here of E3. Sorry, I meant to have them up. So, let's see. Let me pull the one that is the... This was my last day at E3. I think this is 2017. And here's some photos. They had a retro part. These are actual... This is my actual photos. Oh, I thought this was funny. GameChurch.com. Call of Duty Ghosts, just a good look at the floor from my perspective. I took these photos, which is really cool that these are from me. This is when the PS4 was announced. We got some more photos here. The Xbox booth. This is the last time you saw these booths, really. And then you have, wow, I took a lot of photos here. These are good images, and then let's keep going. These are more photos I took from I want to say this is 2016, 17. I forget, but this is really, really cool. Look at these photos. And the Nintendo booth was always really cool. Look at all the colors, the beautiful lighting, the displays. And again, everyone, these are my photos. These are my photos that I was able to take at E3. Going now, just to quickly jump back into E3, today, let's watch this little trailer, because this is the virtual event that they're saying they're doing today. This is what E3 is for 2021. This is no in-person, but here's a little bit of a video on the trailer for this weekend, where it kicks off today, believe it or not. So, I don't know if you guys hear that. Let me know if you don't. Lots happening this weekend. We got surprises from Nintendo potentially. I think the Ubisoft conference is today. I'm excited. I don't know what Back 4 Blood is. That looks cool. Then you got Take-Two with Elder Ring, which was a big announcement. Gearbox, of course, which is the Borderlands. Sega, of course. Horizon. Razer, well, yeah. Mythical Games, all this Slipstream. Look at all the games. Yep. Give it to me, E3. Give it to me. That's right. All right. Yeah. Yeah, great trailer, E3. Here we go. We still got a couple seconds here. Yeah, great. So this is just a trailer for this year's virtual E3, which I have an industry pass for, and I will be attending today. Wow, there's a lot going on. All those people. E3 2021. Everywhere else. All right. So let's take a look at the schedule. This is the most important part of E3 is the schedule. Back 4 Blood is supposed to be the spiritual successor to Left 4 Dead. Oh, really? That makes sense. Okay, that is cool. I will play that. So today for E3, the schedule is the pre-show that they're doing. They're putting on like a live pre-show. The Ubisoft Forward pre-show. So Ubisoft is going to be the first big press conference. And then Gearbox, who does Borderlands, I believe, is going to be doing a showcase. And then GamesBeat, which is a journalist site. Not a busy Saturday, but tomorrow's a big day because we have the Bethesda Xbox conference tomorrow. So that is a big deal. Other than that, you got Square Enix, Warner Brothers, PC Gaming, Future Show. But Monday's another big day with Verizon and actually Intellivision is releasing some portable system, by the way. Take-Two panel, Mythical Games, the Indie Showcase, Ven's Stories of Hector Rodriguez. Get out of here. Tuesday... Obviously, the big one here is Nintendo. Everyone wants to know what's going on with Nintendo. Now, where's Sony? Am I crazy? Am I missing Sony? When's Sony's press conference? We got to see this. Sony's E3 presser. Let's make sure we let everyone know when that's going to be. It won't be at E3. Interesting. I didn't realize that. Sony PlayStation won't be at E3 2021. What? They didn't make a press release about it. It's not hard to miss that Sony isn't part of E3 2021 online schedule. Interesting. Why are they being like that? I didn't know that. All right, I just learned that on the show today. Great. Thanks, Sony, for participating. So here's some photos and a look back of kind of my experience at E3. This is my buddy and my former co-host of the old Destiny podcast I used to do. And if you were on the show a lot earlier in the early days, I talked about, and we had a reunion of the Destiny podcast on here. And this is me and Scott, my co-host, going to E3 in I don't know what year this was, man. This must have been 2014, 2013, I forget. But we went to see and record about Destiny. So this is us doing our podcast from the floor. We actually decided to do the podcast from the floor. This is Deej, who is a famous community manager from the Halo days, and then actually currently did a lot of Destiny stuff, obviously. He's holding our business card upside down, which I thought was really funny. But really great picture of us being really excited because we were doing a Destiny-focused podcast, and we were at E3. We were the only Destiny podcast at E3. There was no doubt about it. It was really fun. Here's a good look at the media room at E3. They give you all the connections you possibly need. This is 2015. Wow. This is 2015 E3. That's really cool. I didn't realize... Damn, so this is the media room, obviously really boring. But, you know, at 12 o'clock every day at E3 in the media room, they would bring free sandwiches and sodas. And I've never seen more people kind of like attack the worst sandwiches to eat at one time. It's just really funny. Anything for free for media. This is me producing on the floor. This is 2017. And I'm producing a segment where I'm interviewing the new fans that were allowed into E3 and getting their perspective about being at E3. And then I asked a lot of the industry people, what did they think about the public being brought into E3? So this was like a really cool photo of me in the action, interviewing some like Mario cosplayer. But you could see, I forgot the name of this guy and this guy, but this sound guy and stuff like that. So that's really unique. Now, here's one that's really funny. I don't know if you guys can hear this, but this is when I ran into Dr. Disrespect about 10 minutes before he got banned, because there was a famous E3 stream with Dr. Disrespect, and he got banned. But guess who met him about 5 minutes before? So let me know if you don't hear this, but here we go. And we got a really famous guy here, and it's, you see him, Dr. Disrespect. I'm gonna go to say hi. Dr. Disrespect. So yeah, I literally walked up to Dr. Disrespect. Can you say hi to our stream, Dr. Disrespect? What's up? What's the Twitch name? It's the Coin Boys. The Coin Boys. You heard that? This is when I was doing the crypto podcast. Oh, hey. He actually interacts with us and starts talking to us. We're tech, gaming, focused podcast. I got an idea right now. He's tall, by the way. He's like 6'7". Okay. I got a touchscreen. Touchscreen phone, iPhone. If I put that technology, the touchscreen on the back of the phone right here, and I'm like this, like a scroll wheel. Whoa. Boom. But I'm controlling iPhone X, right? Like, you're just giving this gold away. If you didn't hear that, he basically said to me, someone should make a technology where you put your finger in the back of like the thing. So actually he goes at the end of this video and goes, all right, guys, let's go. And literally he goes into the bathroom and he gets banned because he shoots his live stream in a bathroom. So that's actually me like in the front of that. So that's a really cool video, and I'll look back at that. Let me see here. Why do I have my Instagram here? I know I have it here for a reason. Okay, I didn't have that queued up. KB Toys doesn't count. Now, this is us at E3 2019, which is the last E3. That's my Coinboy podcast cohorts, Daniel Gutierrez, who's been on the show before, Sanity, who's been on the show before. Shout out to It's Virtually a Podcast. They do that on Twitch. Genzo, can we do a ISO to It's Virtually a Podcast? Because that is their new podcast, and they were my old podcast. This is us at E3, though, 2019, which I thought was cool. This is actually us with the cryptocurrency NFT platform Wax on the floor. Yeah, shout out to It's Virtually a Podcast. Thank you so much, Genzo. really just a great time at E3. You know, I loved every second of it. And as you can see from just like all these memories that I experienced, like it really touches my heart. Like E3 was really just like a special time of year for me. And being able to be as lucky to work in the industry makes it that much more special, because before everything, let's not forget that, you know, E3, it started a long time ago. So this is actually a documentary that's focused on the Jaguar, believe it or not. And you could see what it was like at E3 in 1995. And in 1995, even though it was the first one, it was still really large and like a huge show. And it's always kind of been a huge show. Now, I was watching a lot of look back history on E3, and really it's so fun to look back and see all the amazing retro kind of games that we think are retro today, but being shown at a show on like CRT televisions. But the boots were always still really cool, and I don't think the idea of like how you style boots has changed much. I'm trying to find some more photos. Like, I guess here's a good aesthetic of some developers, you know, just chilling in the 90s. Man, I love the 90s. Who doesn't love the 90s? But that's a good look at E3 in the 1995. Let's see. Here's another interesting video. This guy's at a presser. I think that's the Nintendo press conference. And here we're just sneaking some other old videos that we can find of E3. So this is also E3 1995. Which is really cool to see this old footage, honestly. So, like, kudos to all these YouTubers that still have this stuff. But as you can see, like, oh, man, it must have been so cool. Smaller conventions are always better. It wasn't small, though, my friend. In 1995, it was probably the biggest it ever was. That's what they said, that they definitely spent money on this show in 1995. Even though it wasn't, you know, modern like today, they said this was a huge E3. And I believe it. And you've been to an E3, so, but really cool to see this old footage. Let's see if we can find some other footage from different E3s here. It was just like such a fan, like as someone that worked in the industry, it's still like such a fanboy thing to go to. And oh man, I would, if I couldn't go to E3, I'd be so upset every year that I couldn't go, but just being able to go has been, you know, a blessing, right? E3 doesn't talk at the bottom there. So let's take a look at a few things. I want to look at best reveals of all time because of E3, right? So we got to remember that E3 is meant to display new games, exciting new consoles. It's your opportunity to talk to the brass fan base and the industry base of video games and really get them all together in one moment to show you what's the newest releases. So according to Den of Geek, we're going to go through their 20 best reveals of all time at E3. Let's see. Metroid 4, absolutely number 20, which was recently in 2019. Nintendo, or it was 2018, I don't know, whatever. They officially announced that Metroid 4 Prime was being developed, and oh my god, this is probably one of the games I cannot wait for. Now, number 19 was Mario and Rabbids Kingdom Battle, which basically was taking Ubisoft and Nintendo, and they merged into one game, and it's actually a pretty darn good game. And the whole idea is that at the Ubisoft conference, Shigeru Miyamoto, who is the famous architect of Zelda and Mario, shows up at the Ubisoft conference to talk about that kind of thing. The PlayStation 4 announcement, obviously Keanu Reeves announcing Cyberpunk, your breathtaking meme. You know, this particular meme, I'll find it, hold on. You're breathtaking. This becomes a phenomenon and this happened at E3 as well. This was pretty cool. Let's see if we can hear this, actually. We should watch this. If my video wants to work. Here we go.
Please welcome Keanu Reeves.
This is just like ridiculous.
How's it going? Hello, Los Angeles. E3.
Keanu's the man.
Yeah.
How could this guy do wrong?
All right.
Let me let you listen.
Good to see you. Thank you. All right. All right. I got to talk to you about something. I got to talk to you about something. CD Projekt Red.
You're absolutely. You're right. You're right.
2077. All right. A while back, the guys from CD Projekt Red approached me and asked me to be a part of their new project, Cyberpunk 2077. They were going on and on about how they'd create this vast open world with a branching storyline, how you'd be able to customize your character through in-game choices. And it's not something I knew before, but I was excited by. And I'm always drawn to fascinating stories. Cyberpunk is set in a metropolis of the future, where body modification has become an obsession. You play as an outlaw, an enhanced mercenary working in the sleazy underbelly
I'm waiting for the moment.
of the
You'll
city.
see.
Yeah. Okay, but let me tell you, the feeling of being there, of walking the streets of the future, is really going to be breathtaking.
Here it is.
You're breathtaking. You're all breathtaking.
So, the "you're breathtaking" becomes a meme. You're breathtaking meme. Like, where is it? Oh, wait. I'm trying to find it. Like, people just start, this thing becomes like a phenomenon. You know, like, people make the "you're breathtaking" memes. Ah, good times. All right, moving on. This one's really cool. Peter Moore tattooing that Grand Theft Auto 4 was coming out on the Xbox 360 on his arm as a reveal. As a reveal to a game release, which is pretty badass. Number 15, Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic. Star Wars games weren't unheard of, and Knights of the Old Republic was revealed in 2001. Reggie Fields Ames, who said, so let's pull this up. This is a good one to pull up. So yeah, Reggie joins Nintendo, and he comes in a big way and kicking it. He says, I'm about games and I'm about kicking ass. So this is the first time Reggie comes on floor, and this is at E3. So this is really funny.
My name is Reggie. I'm about kicking ass. I'm about taking names. And we're about making games. My name is Reggie. I'm about kicking ass. I'm about taking names. And we're about making games.
Yes, Genzo, you are. I wonder if it'll make the list. I think it will. Resident Evil 7 announcement, Final Fantasy 7 remake announcement was a big deal. Elder Scrolls 6 announcement was a big deal. Hopefully this show on Sunday, especially with the Bethesda conference, we're going to see some Elder Scrolls 6. Doom 3, potentially, I would imagine so. Nintendo Wii's announcement, absolutely. That was a pretty big deal. BioShock Infinite was a cool announcement at E3. Call of Duty 4, who cares? I'm sorry. I'm sure people care. Fallout 4, absolutely big announcement. Killzone 2 was definitely a surprise when they made that announcement. I love Killzone. Half-Life 2, way back when. Halo 2, absolutely. Number 2, Legend of Zelda Twilight Princess reveal was a pretty big deal. That was a surprise. Number 1 of all time is the Metal Gear Solid 2 for them. But let's look at that, Genzo. We're going to look at My Body is Ready. This is another Reggie moment at E3. Body is ready, E3.
What we call a body is do what we call a body check on somebody. So today, I think we'll do it with Reggie. Hi.
My body is ready.
My body is ready.
Hi.
じゃあ乗ってください。
Okay, Reggie, please stand on the Wii balance board. So you're wearing just...
See, like, this whole, like, E3 thing, man, it's so amazing. So many fun moments. All right, now we're going to do the biggest reveals of E3 history. Those are the moments. Now we're going to talk about reveals. The body's ready. Or I guess I did talk about the reveals, but we're going to do more. The body's ready. Obviously, we talked about the Fallout 4 showcase. Final Fantasy, Twilight Princess is on this list. Xbox One's backward compatibility. Oh my God, I can't talk this morning. The Final Fantasy remake, of course. The PlayStation being only $299. This is a really cool moment. I'll show you. So, in 1995, at the first E3, $299 E3 in 1995. At the first E3, let's see, wait, $299 E3. Here it is.
In a tailspin.
So at the first sorry, I'm trying to pull this up. At the first E3, Sony was releasing their PlayStation 1 and Sega was releasing their Sega Saturn, but they already released it right away, right before E3 and started and everything. But Sega announces that the Sega Saturn is $399, but then Sega comes up on stage and only says one word, $299.
Sony Computer Entertainment President of America, Steve Reyes, join me for a brief presentation.
So he's going to come up, and because Sega said $499, he's literally going to say $299. Right?
$299.
And that's it. For $299, you can get the PlayStation 1, and you know what? Because of that, they started to drop the prices of a lot of things. Even the Nintendo 64 dropped their price before launch because of this. But yeah, as you can see, I have a lot of love, I have a lot of passion for this whole industry, and I mean, where does the future? I guess as I'm closing out here, why don't we talk about the predictions, then I'm going to talk about the future. The predictions this year is Epic and Sony announce exclusive partnership for PlayStation games on PC. I don't know, maybe. Phil Spencer to reveal a Halo Infinite tattoo like Peter Moore, maybe. CD Projekt Red officially cancels Cyberpunk 27 multiplayer, makes it all DLC free, and announces The Witcher 4. Absolutely do that. They should absolutely do that. Psychonauts 2 will surprise release at E3 on Xbox Game Pass. XCOM gets teased. Hideo Kojima announces Death Stranding 2 World Panics. Sony will announce a PS5 update for Bloodborne, and I still won't be able to play it on my PC. Jeff Keighley gets Alf to finally show us what it's like when he eats a cat. EA says it's getting a bit bored of making FIFA now. Beyond Good and Evil reemerges with a comical short demo. I would love to see Beyond Good and Evil. Konami doesn't announce another Metal Gear Solid game, and Xbox acquires Metal Gear IP from Konami, announces Metal Gear for the Xbox. What's your most memorable moments at E3? Well, you kind of missed. I showed them, but I'll tell you another one. Because we kind of looked back at my experience, Daniel, at E3 back in the day with all these photos that I actually took from actual E3s. But I'll finish that with a final moment. My favorite moment was probably this. So when I was able to go to E3 as a Destiny podcast, and when we went into interview with them, I think let me find the photos. There's some more photos. It was really so cool that we were there interviewing, Bungie, which was like the publisher of the game that we love to talk about. The fact that we were able to go to E3 and like be there as a Destiny podcast, that was one of the funnest E3s I ever went to. I'm trying to find the photos though. I know I have them here. Here we are. So this is in the Bungie booth. And we had just interviewed a developer, and Scott and I took this picture. And you know what? It's this picture alone brings back so many memories. I know that we went in 2019, but this 2015, going to E3 in 2015 as one of these early podcasts. And, this is before it was easy to podcast. Like, you didn't have all these websites that made it easy to podcast. And, we were walking around the floor doing a live podcast. It was just like such good time. So there's one of my memories from E3, if that works for you, Daniel. I miss it. I miss that feeling. And that's the feeling that makes you really enjoy going to E3, is that feeling of just being in a universe for a day where everything is about video games, where everything's about the future of video games and the potential of video games. That is the key to, you know, bring nostalgia and why I love video games, because I go to E3 for the love of video games, and that I love this part of the year because there's announcements. This is just a collaborative, or I guess there's a collective consciousness to loving video game announcements around June every year. Like, it's just expected, and it's just like amazing. These are embarrassing moments at E3. This guy was just hyped up on caffeine. They call him the caffeine guy.
Cruise the historic E3 event and troll them.
Wow, already starting.
There was one with Jamie Kennedy. This was the Wii problem they had. I know Sony messed up a bunch of conferences. I guess I could share this link later because I don't want to get stuck on a rabbit hole, but there's definitely been some like ridiculous moments at E3. And you know what? Just to wrap it up, you know, I told everyone this would not be a long show, but we are going to do one thing before I go. And I know there's not a lot of people here, but that's pretty much the end of the show, but I will be playing some Stream Racer. Oops. Let's see. Let me pull it up. Hold on. No fear. Oh, shoot. Hold on. I know you're excited. Let me get Stream Racer up. I am so excited to play Stream Racer, of course. We are giving out this game. It's called Vane. Enjoy the trailer while I figure this out. Daniel, a lot of games, actually. Have you ever previewed a game that didn't come out that you wished would have come out? I don't know if there was a game that I played that it didn't come out, but there's some games that just took forever to see. There's some games that I just like never was able to see. I don't think I played a game, though, that I remember that was so good that it never came out. I don't think I had that experience, if that makes sense. All right, so new game. Here we go. I'm going to play some Stream Racer for my friends. We're giving out that game Vane. So this is for a game. So when I tell you all, then you can put iRace in chat. The winner of this race will get the game. All right. Go ahead. You got iRace now. Exclamation point race, everybody. Exclamation point race to join the race. Exclamation point race, please. If you're lurking, I know we don't have a ton of people today, but if you're lurking, join the race. Have a chance to win the new game Vane. I don't know if it's a new game, but it's a game that will be new to you because I'm going to give it for free. So we got 3 racers. Hey, if it's 3, that's all we got, then that's all we got. So I'm going to start this thing. So you got a minute to go. If anyone else is lurking and wants a chance to win a game and end the show with some Stream Racer, I would really, really love to see it. If not, it's going to be a 3-way race between Genzo. It's virtually a podcast and no fear for the game Vane. And I don't have a problem with that. You know, sometimes we need to have a really close, tight niche one. And if we don't have a lot of people, you got a shot. It's virtually a podcast. You got a shot. So 30 seconds. If anyone is lurking and wants to join the race to win a game, feel free. I won't judge you if you're lurking. Don't worry. Yeah, Genzo will probably win because he's like that. All right, so this is going to be a 3-way triple ladder match, Stream Racer match. This is going to be big. This is our first ever 3-way race between Genzo Chicken. It's virtually a podcast and no fear. Good luck to you gentlemen. Good luck. Let's see who wins. All right. So we got a quick, nice ice cream truck, Genzo. Genzo goes around. All right. Tarantula was lurking. Thank you for lurking. All right, so we got Genzo in first. We got No Fear went off the track a little bit, but we got Genzo in first still, but we got It's Virtually a Podcast in the back there, pretty strong. But Genzo, look at It's Virtually a Podcast, just knocking Genzo off his game. Daniel really wants this today. Oh, and what's going on back there? Genzo's just flying in the air, and No Fear is driving really slow. But we got It's Virtually a Podcast just taking the lead. Daniel said, you know, this is my time. I talked to Daniel before the game. He said, if I get into my Stream Ranger mode and I'm in front, I'm going to be a winner. So before the match, you know, he was really pumped. He said that he is doing this for his family, that everybody matters to him, that without his family, he wouldn't be the stream racer he is today. He really wants to prove himself. I want this more than anything else right now. You fell off track. No Fear is in second place. Genzo is just having fun in the back. Sorry, Genzo. I don't know what's going on. Let's zoom out so you can see like how far everyone is. Genzo is pretty far back. No Fear is kind of just dilly-dallying with. Look at this guy. He is a champion, folks. Can we just give him the crown? Because it looks to me like Daniel is going to win this thing. If anything goes wrong, it won't. This is going to be everything he wanted. And he wins without a shadow of a doubt. Congratulations, Daniel. You won Vane. Let's see who takes second. Let's see who takes second. No. Genzo and No Fear, you guys were the worst in this match. What are you doing, Genzo? Congratulations, It's Virtually a Podcast. You are a winner. You are a winner, sir. Looks like No Fear will take second place. If things don't go wrong here. He's got 46 seconds to take second place. Oh. And there he goes. Nice job, No Fear. Great job. And Genzo, we'll let Genzo kind of finish off the race. Will be nice. Oh, you know what? Sorry, Genzo. All right. Well, thanks, everyone. I'm glad. Daniel, I will DM you the code. Congratulations. And I just want to remind everyone to really, if you can, check out some of the E3. It's all live this weekend, starting today at 10 a.m. Even if you're not at the virtual show, you can watch it. Let's see who we're going to raid today. Let's see here. Who should we raid? Who's this? John Trill? Retro guy? I guess we could raid him. Let's raid him. Looks like he's playing some random NES, it says. All right, we're going to raid John Trill. Because why not? Guy deserves it. I don't know this guy, but let's give him some love, everyone. Give me 1 second. Thank you so much, as always. Thanks, Dance Floor, for coming by. I really appreciate having you, man. Thanks for stopping by. I know it was a little bit of a different type of show. Next week, we will be back with a guest. We're going to be talking Loot Crate, subscription services, and the history of paying for things that are around video games when it comes to point-of-sale purchases, subscriptions, Loot Crates. And we're going to have Chris, who used to work for Loot Crate, on the show to talk about this interesting subject that I'm excited to talk about. So check that out next Saturday. We're going to keep the train going with Cafe BTW. For the meantime, let's raid a fellow retro person. And his name is John Trill. I want to thank everyone. Have a great weekend. I'll see you all next Saturday. Thank you so much. Again, this is Cafe BTW, a morning gaming podcast, and thank you to all the people listening on VOD. I appreciate you as well. All right, all. Take care.